Gentleman named Jim, who's a card collector here in North Texas, that came across an Aaron Judge. You say it for me. Superfractor? Is that the right
Mr.
phrasing here?
Thesaurus? What is it?
I do not know much about cards.
Superfractor hasn't popped up on his thesaurus word of the day.
It has not. I was a card collector as a kid for a little while. I had a bunch of baseball cards in a shoebox, as probably any kid did of our generation, but never really went headlong down this path, never cared about it all that much. And it has changed a lot since I was 8 years old.
Well, the story we're going to hear today is probably a reason for everybody who's got a collection sitting in a closet at home somewhere to go take a look at it and maybe peruse it, because you might have something worth a lot of money in there. The sports card industry has kind of boomed since COVID. It's like values of cards have skyrocketed. They were higher a few years ago. They've dipped a little bit back down, but it's become a real massive industry. Fanatics is super involved. GameStop as a company is involved in it, and it's just become kind of the hobby is, I don't know, it feels like it's never been more popular, from sports cards to Pokemon, all that stuff.
I was going to say there's a real nostalgia boom just in general across like 90s collectibles.
Well, it comes back to this, right? I mean, millennials were part of that boom, and then we all went to high school, grew up, made some money, got a job,
and now we spend it on
like,
stuff.
I forgot I liked cards. I might buy a few cards with this money that I now have.
That's legit.
And that has never really gone away for some people, and some folks will put their cards away, put them in the closet, whatever it is, and they'll come back to it. And this is a story about a man named Jim who had some vintage cards at home and was looking to sell them, and had some modern cards, which is modern cards are like 2000s and later. They're more of the shiny stuff that you'll see, not the vintage baseball cards, the paper cardboard cards that you're used to.
The ones that are in the exhibit in the Hall of Fame, those are very different.
Correct. The ones that your grandpa, may have collected with a pack of gum inside. But the modern cards are the shiny, they're like almost mirror reflective and all that. Nowadays, they're like really heavily produced. They're a bunch of different parallels and like different colors and all this different stuff. Numbered cards have extra value. One-of-one cards have the most value because it means one was produced of that type of card.
And that's what this is.
And the superfractor, it's called a superfractor. It's a specific type of look to a card and how it's made. There it is. That's what a superfractor looks like.
So
and
it's the holographic aspect.
Yes.
That
but there are a lot of holographics, so it's hard to know. But the way you can tell is in that upper corner, 1/1 means it's a one-of-one. Which again adds to its value. Now, if you're wondering, Javad, how much might a card like this cost or venture on the heritage auction sites? Well, this card, which is an Aaron Judge Bowman Chrome Superfractor in an autographed version. This is a non-auto, but the autographed version went for $5.2 million.
Jeez,
$5.2 million, up from a few $100,000 a few years ago, which kind of speaks to that recent rise in values that we've seen for some of these high-end cards.
The other thing is a lot of influencers hop in, raise the price kind of artificially because they're moving the money around, and they kind of help exclusify a lot of these items as well.
They do. That's right. And so this specific card, which is you can consider like an Aaron Judge rookie card. Bowman is some of the higher-end. Bowman is the collectible card for baseball collectors. That and Topps rookie cards are the two ones. The
Topps I knew. Bowman is...
This is the best way I can phrase it for people that aren't into sports cards, is the Bowman Superfractor. This card is it's probably the second most desirable Aaron Judge card in the entire world. The most sought after would be the Superfractor autograph, which I just mentioned sold for 5.2. So I'd say this is probably just the peg lower, even though it's not autographed, but it's one-of-one Superfractor. And it's on the Heritage Auction site going right now for $440,000 is its current bid. There's still 4 days left. I'll let you do the math on where you think that might end up.
So just to produce out loud here real quick while we're live on the air, are we any closer, Kelly?
I have not seen Jim come back yet.
Okay. I'm wondering if it's worth it if we do get him back and we don't have the video element. We're having some issues with our system, by the way, if it's not clear. maybe we just talk to him and just pull his audio up. And that was initially how we were actually going to do this interview, because initially he didn't want to be identified on camera, and then changed his mind over the course of the weekend, because that's one of the artifacts of the kind of insanity around this entire thing. Is it's kind of like you hit the lottery, and not everybody wants to be identified that, that's the guy that just
we might have him back. Hang on. Let's see here. So see
I think I made
if
it.
you can hear him.
I think we may have
All
him.
right,
Jim, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Wonderful. Thank you for jumping in. We appreciate your time. We are fascinated by your story. Take us through, first of all, how you came across this card and when you had the moment of realization of, hey, I got something really special here.
Well, I'm not going to really take a whole lot of credit for the card. I have a son who has some physical disabilities and couldn't play sports, but he loves baseball. And so he got into collecting cards. And we buy him Christmas, birthday cards all the time. And he collected, I guess, for 20, 25 years. And what he was a purist that he wanted to build sets. He could care less about insert cards. And so when he got an insert card, it went into the box and sat there. And he got this card, I'm going to guess, in 2013. And we decided it was time to start unloading stuff at about 2022 and going through all these cards to see which ones we should keep and what we should give away, and try to clean out half of my garage. And we came across this card, and I knew it looked good, so I put it in
Like a wrapper?
protector.
Sleeve, yeah.
And I got a hold. We were looking at Beckett at the time, and they did not have a price for this one-on-one gold card, but they had a price on a silver one. There's 25 of them. And that price back in 2022 was about $1,000 to $3,500 for a silver one. So all I did was I put this card in and just wrote $5,000 to $10,000 on it, having no idea what it was. I wrote Beckett, never heard back from him. And so when I went to a ball card show this last December, because I wanted to sell my old cards. My son managed to get me into buying, the stuff from the 50s and 60s. And I found a gentleman that I felt comfortable with that was also in the local area. And I had him come over, and we worked a couple times. Yes, this is Gerald. And we did business with my old cards. And he had just asked me, do I have anything else? And I said, well, yeah, I've got some old, some newer stuff, if you might, because you said you weren't interested in it. So I handed him a box, and I thought I was going to have to give him CPR. He pulled this card out, and he says, do you know what you have here? And, I knew the card had value, but I said, well, yeah and no. I said, I know it's a nice card. And he said, well, if I'd offer you $25K, would you take it? And he said, no, don't do that. He says, this card's worth a lot more. You need to take it to an auction house. And
good on him to be that honest, by the way.
Seriously.
The man was very honest, and that's he's a good man. So I ended up working with a couple auction houses, and ended up going with Heritage. And it was scheduled to go not onto the auction block until like August. And then, like you just said earlier or late last month, when the signature card sold for $5 million, it was kind of like, well, what more advertisement do you need? And so we moved it. I called up Heritage, and they were already discussing this very same thing. And they moved the auction up to now. And that's why the card is out there right now doing its thing. And, whatever the Lord blesses me with the price and what happens, The money is going to ultimately go to my son's trust fund for him, for us to take care of him as he gets older and we're not around anymore. So it's just kind of a blessing in disguise to us.
That's amazing. Jim, thank you for sharing your story with us. I'm curious, we saw the photos of the card raw, like pulled out of the box or binder or wherever you had it stored. And then we saw the photos of it graded. Did you get it graded yourself, or did Heritage handle that? And also, I'm curious as well, were you nervous during the grading portion? Because obviously a PSA 10 is worth a lot of money, and PSA 9 is still worth a good chunk. What was the nervous levels there, if any?
Well, I have to admit, I did not have it graded. Heritage sent it in for grading. And I can look at cards and know if they look how beat up they are or not. And I looked at this card and I thought, of course everything's a 10 to the owner.
That's right.
But when it came back a 9, it didn't surprise me. This card's been sitting in a box, being thrown around for 9-10 years, and all it takes is a little ding here or there, and it knocks the grading value down. So yeah, I was very pleased with a 9, to be truthful, because you just never know what grading's going to come out. I can't figure out PSA on how they grade things and
so we could spend 20 minutes on that, Jim.
It's arcane in a lot of ways, very tough to dissect.
Jim, you're in North Texas? Is that right? You're North Texas based?
Yes, I am.
And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I guess I was just wondering, had you been to a card show before until you walked in and tried to kind of deal some of your old cards?
Oh, my son and I used to go to card shows all the time, and so and actually we knew a lot of card dealers and people who own card shops and sundry things like that. So when I went through the card show, I went around talking to people just to get a feel on, do I trust these people or not? And, not that my gut tells me 100% of what I think, but I found like 3 people that I was willing to do business with going through this card show. And as it turned out, 2 of them were out of town and the one was in town. And I called him up first, and that's who, turned out to be Jug. And in dealing with him and selling my cards, I felt the numbers were fair. You always want more, but he's got to make money too. But then when he didn't try to cheat me on dealing with this Aaron Judd card, it's just showed that I made a right decision.
Jim, I'm curious, what does it mean to you to have a family hobby like this result in essentially a windfall? I mean, this has to mean something to that degree as well.
Well, let me tell you, I've had a small ball card shop in my garage probably for 20 years, and I never thought something like this would really come up. I mean, my older cards wouldn't even come close to what this card is worth. And to me, it's just I'm a Christian man, and I believe in the good Lord, and He takes care of me and my family. And it just seems like this is just this is just going to be something that's going to help take care of my son long term. And so it means a lot. You want your children to have everything, and when he has needs, this money's going to become to good use long term for him.
Well, Jim, we really appreciate you sharing your story with us. It's a fascinating story. It's really cool what you and your son have come across, and obviously the way that you're planning on using whatever money does come from this is incredibly commendable as well, to take care of your son, take care of your family the way that you plan to. So thank you very much. We're hoping that number just continues to climb for you over the course of the next couple of days or so until the auction closes. Best of luck with everything, and thank you again for sharing some time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it very much. You guys have a blessed day.
You
You too. Thanks,
All
Jim.
right.